thank you for allowing me this pleasure. This is amazing. I've never been. I was so inspired from all that worship and that. Absolutely beautiful. Never in my life was I imagining that when I come here, which has touched my heart, and I think it's absolutely beautiful what you've got going on here. Praise God for that one. And yeah, I'll start with my life. I'm from Portsmouth. I was born in Portsmouth in 1988. I'm 21 years old. I'm not from a Christian family. I'm now the first Christian in my family. Not one of them is a Christian. I was brought up in a house in a council estate in Lee Park, which is in the Portsmouth area. And my earliest memories as a child were my mum and dad beating each other up, violence, destruction. As a young child, all I knew what to do with was cry and have emotions and go to my room and cry by myself. That's all I knew. I didn't have bonding skills. I didn't know how to talk to people. I just knew how to cry and how to be insecure. That's all I knew. I got to about the age of 7 and we moved. And all I knew as a young child was violence. That's basically it. Parents beating each other, just kicking off all the time. Go out on a day trip. You know, we come London many times, and down the street arguing, mum and dad storming off. It's just like, what's going on, you know? And ain't good. And I moved to another area when I was 7 years old in Chichester, which is in about 15 miles away from Portsmouth. And there we started a new life. So what my dad and my mum thought. But abuse started happening there, sexual abuse happened. There was more destruction than ever there. It really did kick off, and I was in the brunt of it all, a young child facing these problems, dealing with these problems, couldn't handle these problems. I was getting bullied, abused. My brother was so violent to me that you wouldn't even imagine, just totally wrecking who I was. Emotionally, I was insecure, I didn't know what to do with my life. I couldn't make friends, and when I did, they would walk away, and I didn't know, and no one liked me, nothing. I just didn't know what was going on. And it got to, I was about, I suppose, 13, 14, and I had many suicidal thoughts come into my head when I was like getting bullied and things like that. But when I was 14, my mum and dad split up, and I moved back to a place in Havant. And there was a lot of peace in that because there was no more arguing. And there was a lot of peace for a little bit of time until I found alcohol. And at the age of 14, I picked up the drink, and something happened. I drank, and I could talk to people. I could interact with people. I was able to go and speak to people with this drink. And I thought, yeah, this is, you know, Stella, it's my new best friend, you know. I thought, wow, this is good stuff. And but what came with drink was a lot of mind games up here. What followed with drink at the age of 14 was weed, and I became addicted to weed. And then about 6 months later, I was doing ecstasy, speed, all sorts of drugs at the age of 14, 15 years old. And yeah, and I was getting angry and violent, and all that upbringing of a child was coming out through this drink. I was becoming, I don't know what I was becoming. I was a madman. And I'll give you one story of what I was like an evening out with my friends when I was like 16 years old. I remember we drank loads of Stella, we'd gone out, and we walked past this house, and I always used to carry a big chain in my pocket that I made and tied up with like tape, gaffer tape. And we knocked this door, and I pretended that we was going to rob it, and I was going to ask if they had any ecstasy there. And I asked them, I said this pretend name, hello, is so-and-so there? They said, no, come in and check. And I asked, there's a dealer in there, if he's got any ecstasy. Well, my mate was robbing all the handbags and that. And they caught us, so we dragged them outside, and me being an absolute lunatic pulled out the chain and was just hitting them around the head. I was a vicious, vile, angry young man, and my mate had a spanner and was hitting them, and eventually a load of them come out and started doing us, and we went back to this council estate, and I got a big gang of us, about 30 of us, and I pulled up outside this house, and I picked up like a dustbin and just threw it through the front windows, kicked all the doors in, and we just destroyed the whole of the house, broke everything, destroyed it. There was girls screaming in there. Looking back at it, I feel so sick because I was like, what was I up to? And there was many times when things like that happened, but the funny thing was the police station was about, like, I could see it, it was like there, you know what I mean? It was like ridiculous what I was up to. Yeah, but I lived in a pub as well. I moved into a pub when I was 16 years old, and I found myself nicking bottles of wine, going upstairs, drinking them, waking up with sick everywhere, just didn't know what was going on really, to be honest with you. But yeah, that carried on for a while, just drinking. And I become obviously addicted. I was an alcoholic, not knowing it then. I just thought it was what was going on. I just agreed with it and got on with it. There was a lot of issues going on in my head. I become mentally ill. I was getting depressed. I was getting talking to myself, thinking, am I in reality, am I not in reality? Not knowing what was real and what wasn't. I was just messed up. I started getting into knives. I started craving holding a knife, you know what I mean? I don't know why, but I pulled mental, I don't know why. I was in a subway sort of thing in Chichester with my friend, and a boy just looked at me in the wrong way. And I thought, I can't have this, so I've pulled a knife out. A poor lad, I don't know what he must have thought, and I've just put it to his neck in the middle of this, in this subway. And he just literally, I couldn't put it in him, but I just walked away, and he petrified. Police come and pick me up, took the knife off me. I don't know how I didn't, but I got a caution for it. I don't understand that, but then by the time I was about, I think 18, 19 years old, my life was getting worse and worse. I was arguing at home. My mum was always on at me, saying I had a drink problem. I was always, no, I haven't, of course I ain't, you know. But I was in denial, you know. I was denying the fact that I had a problem. And she didn't really know I'd done drugs and things like that. I used to stay up 3 days in a row doing amphetamines on speed, big bags of speed, just staying up all night, just doing it. Go to work on it. At work, you know, just completely off my face trying to work with tools, which was a bit mad. But yeah, that was my life basically, up till about the age of 19. I was living at home with my mum, you know, a boyfriend. And one night I was drinking and drinking and drinking again. And my mum's boyfriend said to me, you've had too much. I was swaying obviously and that. And so I've gone to the kitchen, I've pulled out a 10-inch kitchen knife. And I've just gone up to him, put it to him, and then like hit him, pushed my mum over and ran outside with this 10-inch kitchen knife down like a main road sort of thing. And I wanted to kill someone. Police come and arrested me, took the knife off me and put me in a cell. And this is when I really started to realise I was mentally ill, because when they locked me in the cell, I physically couldn't handle being locked in there, so I started headbutting the wall. And I headbutted it till I had a massive split up my head, and I had all the blood on my hands and I was smearing it all over the walls. And I was just headbutting the wall still constantly, and it was just literally, it was everywhere until I knocked myself up. Mental institute got called out. I'd done disgusting drawings on the wall of like swastikas and all this stuff of just madness all over everywhere. And I woke up in the morning and I didn't know what would happen, what was going on. It was drink. See, that's what I was like on drink. I'd probably kill you, you know what I mean? I'd be willing to kill you. And I didn't know what had happened. I was just like, oh my goodness, what have I done? And the lady walked into the cell and she had complete disgust in her face because she saw the blood everywhere and all just disgusting, you know what I mean? And I had to go back to court for that one. And still, I don't know how, but I didn't get sent down for that. I got 36 months conditional discharge and a fine. But my mum was in court watching me. And I felt complete sickness. Seeing them hold up a picture of this big knife in front of people, I felt so much shame, so much guilt. I was just like, what is going on with my life? I've got to stop drinking, I've got to stop drinking.